TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. begin shortly. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin 3, 2. Loading in 5, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Welcome. Begin shortly. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4.
What it do, what it is, everybody. It's been a minute since fuck around and find out. We are back with Trading Places. How's everybody doing? Sorry, trying to get a bowl loaded. You know the morning stick. Got some good ass fucking trees too. And some good ass concentrate. And if the weed's not here right now, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. It's true that. Some of these Detroit bunts, 69, that's a lucky number. Morning, people. Little light. Been off the air for a while. Can understand that. Pruned about 750 motherfuckers out of Discord that were fucking useless space because they weren't doing shit. So I'm gonna guess I got some salty ex-viewers that are no longer gonna show up here, but that's okay. Because if you don't convert shit, I don't give a fuck to have you. Doing better with the show. So, you know, old man Kaz had to finish Nebula. Just finished our last call for Nebula 5, which is 8 weeks, 4 days. Me and Tiki, old man Tikerson, combined age of 90, running Nebula and running these kids into the ground in there. But hopefully you guys had some amazing epiphanies and you're not the same trader when you walked in the door. So if any of you guys from Nebula 5 are in the audience, you know, more than welcome to throw a micro review about what you experienced. Don't give away the goods. You know, we don't want to give it all away on the show. People hate that. I'm here, just getting older. It's hard to do a show every other day. Trust me, doing the artwork and stuff and like getting the show ready, like that was a hell of a run. But I don't think I can repeat that feat. Hundreds of shows straight doing that stuff. Definitely don't have the same fundamentals anymore. Walked out of Neb 5. That's what's up. It's been a while. Shout out to Exploit who's giving me some bits. Where did that go? Wrong fucking mouse. Sorry, I didn't get to look at the first messages. Need to find my rolling paper. There's one right here trying to get something rolled up too. Well, not rolled up, but bowled up. You already know how this goes. Oodalali. Can't wait. So much goodies right now. Need that. If you guys haven't tried live rosin, you gotta try this. Definitely fixes the bad trees we got these days. But this shit right here, son, this shit magic. Alright. Damn it. Get in there. So hard to manipulate this stuff. So, fuck around and find out. 60 VIX. We found the low in the market there. I try to do shows that, I don't have the health to do them every single next day, but I definitely always try to show up where I think it's critically important for us to have a conversation. But you know what they say, right? Timing matters. Live rosin is the way. Live rosin pen, live rosin fucking everything else. Where the fuck? Yo, tell me I didn't walk in here and start this show and not have a fucking lighter. I got a blowtorch. It'll have to do. Alrighty then. Let's get this party started. Streams have started today. That's rough, probably goes. Yeah, I did that magic trick of taking a micro dose with some L when I did the show with this outfit. Good Lord, ex Cinnabus. I was a fucking riot. Definitely an amazing journey. Incredible how much different we see things now. It's amazing how much things I discuss on this show that you never could actually value fully that I said right in front of me, right? A lot of times we talk about like value is hidden in plain sight, but the mechanics of how it's hidden in plain sight isn't well understood. Most people are so egotistical and suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect to the degree that they're pretty sure that if something's not within their visible range, it's because it's hidden physically, like behind something that obstructs their view. They never guess that it is their level of awareness in the world and the resolution that they see things that actually hides it. If you see the world at the resolution of Minecraft, there's stunning details that will be missing from you, versus being able to see it at like, say the rendering quality of like a Call of Duty. That is the actual problem. Nothing's actually really hidden from us, right? Values in plain sight and hidden by our ignorance and by our lack of awareness. And nobody ever wants to admit that it's a you problem. So nobody ever endeavors to fix that issue. Deal with processing and cognitive processing and retention and an accurate view of the world around you that is not beholden to your fucking subjectivity. Nebula was awesome. New pair of eyes, new brain. The world will never be the same. Indeed. Now you know why I can't do those motherfuckers every year, but they take a bit of health to do them. Having a forceful, 4 to 5 hour conversation multiple times a week, like we talked about last night. You guys effectively watched like 15 Lord of the Ring movies. It's a fucking lot. Remember, I told you in the interview, it was going to be like the kind of hours of like an actual college course, and by the time you go through Tiki's class and my class combined, you guys have like, I think probably like 80, 90 hours of like, conversation that we have there. That was a hell of an experience. Well, I'm glad that it seems like many of you really liked it. Kaz, when will we be ready for the space blog post? I'm waiting for it since 2020. Probably when we're on an asteroid. I don't know, man. I'm doing what I can. Couldn't even do the shows really, like, health wise. I was passing out after evening sessions and stuff like that. So just to have the energy to do Nebula and the shows, like I couldn't really do both at once. The Space Cash blog is like was left half done, and it's humongous, and like it's over. It's like one of those class projects you look at and you just kind of like just put it down till like fucking it's due. So yeah, I know the whole world's about to explode, and Space Cash has like pretty much the entire narrative in it from like years and years and years ago. That explains like a whole lot of what's going on the planet and off the planet. What we see right now is just a small percentage of what's really going on. With the proxy wars and stuff people are looking at, they're really tunnel vision into Ukraine and the Middle East. But the larger forces at hand are the destabilization of NATO that kind of kept the world kind of like in a certain stasis and centric to NATO's whims. Right now, with the breakdown in NATO that came from Trump, Trump helped to like destabilize NATO, and that was a critical thing that had to happen for Xi Jinping and Putin at their ages if they ever wanted to threaten the NATO alliance. They had to crack NATO's armor while they still have a lifespan left. So those guys approaching 70. It really, if Hillary Clinton had made it into office, would have crippled this shit out of them long enough for those guys to pass away. So they have a living lifespan to get things done that maybe the next successors don't have that same view. So these are the kind of guys that are going to get it done in their lifespan, and that was one of the reasons I was able to time the rotation for BRICS and NATO when I did, because it was a matter of mortality and legacy for those guys. With NATO being destabilized, after Trump's presidency, COVID was the perfect shitstorm to come behind it, which allowed the clusterfuck on the planet that happened, and the stimulus that was dumped into the system on NATO's side of the equation. All China had to do is not restart their economy, and they could burn up fucking NATO with like all the excess fucking capital in the system, which is what happened. We got like hyperinflation, with the fucking war spending situation, and that basically just blew away the entire purchasing power of of the West. So this is part of like being able to get control of the planet from the grips of the United States, is to wreck what is their main weapons. Their weapons have been their currency, the dollar hegemony, and their military alliance that pretty much holds everyone at bay, allows Israel to rape half the Middle East while they point guns at everybody and nobody can do shit. Now that you see like Israel just hit a Russian depot, and Russia's literally moving their citizens out and moving military weapons over there. They just gave Iran basically a version of the Iron Dome to help them defend themselves the way Israel can. And now you have a proxy war that's getting closer and closer to like maybe it's not a proxy war. And ultimately, Russia and America are at war right now through other countries. And we've already seen this, right? This already happened in Vietnam. But you're much closer to seeing Russia actually fire a missile directly at NATO than you've ever been in our living history. And that's pretty much the thing that is a doomsday scenario. If these two nuclear superpowers actually go butting heads, the weapons they have can change the face of life on this planet for all of us, right? But obviously it's a last resort type of thing. But with China and Russia now kind of like posing, to take a side behind the people that we normally help fucking run over, they're playing the game and putting the U.S. out there to basically make themselves look like what they really are, which is a bunch of genocidal warmongers who fund fucking crazy shit around the planet, destabilizing countries. What the long game is to remove the goodwill America built up in the world as the good guy. And the tactics that they're employing, Russia's known for psyops. The tactical nature of what they're doing in Ukraine to do what they call a small military operation to denazify, and that's a really strong term, denazify Ukraine. Everyone understands the Nazis were the bad guys of World War II that Russia stopped, and America stole the credit for. America looks like they are the ones who stopped Hitler, but it was really Russia that stopped Hitler. And so when they come back with this denazifying term, you really have to ask yourself what they're talking about. And that's not something that can fit into this show. But who are the Nazis is a question that pretty much no one's ever really thought about, I don't want to get my fucking show canceled. There's certain shit I can't say on this thing. Let's see. How can I do this very quickly without putting my show at risk? Let's think. Must choose words in the era of censorship extremely carefully. uh, so most people don't know this, but gosh, I gotta say, pick my words very, very carefully here. This is Trading Places. Do I really want to put this in here? It's 8:45. I'm gonna regret this. So many people do not really understand the 1940s, and if left to your own devices to read about history, well, you're gonna actually have a really hard time understanding it, since it's written by the winner, right? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? All right. Shout out to Abra, Gabriel, and Censored. Appreciate y'all. Um, so, where did the Nazis come from? That's a hell of a question, right? Most people don't know this, but your first really big player, I guess, in the world against them in the 1900s was not Adolf Hitler. It was somebody else you guys really know, but have never heard this part before. I'm just trying to pull everything up so I can do this as quickly as humanly possible. uh, uh, where is it here? All right. So here we go. I'm going to try to do this without getting my station canceled. You guys ready? So, where did the Hitler come from is a question that nobody ever seems to ask, right? Everything about anti-Semitism and, the Holocaust with the Jews hangs around Hitler's neck as the guy who was the absolute nemesis of the 1900s of the Jewish people. But if you dig a little bit deeper, where do you think Adolf Hitler actually came from? That would be a hell of a good question to ask, don't you think? But since no one can ever talk about him without getting canceled in 5 seconds, no one gets to do any due diligence about the guy or anything about what he's doing. The real source of where that motherfucker came from is actually from America. He is... Did I touch this wrong button? Adolf Hitler was an avid studier of a big industrialist in America, Henry Ford, the creator of Ford Motor Company, who is huge in American history for helping create the 40-hour work week, the assembly line, and a huge the automobile. He revolutionized America. So he's such a big figure in American history that there's certain things that they had to kind of strip away from him to leave him as a figure in American history without tying to him some of the real realities of what he was about. But he is where Hitler studied, because he wrote the first book that would be compared to Mein Kampf, which is called, where did they put it? The International Jew. He bought a publishing company to get control of his own media so he could get around the controlled media by someone, so he could get to speak without being filtered or canceled, kind of like Elon. He is basically the Elon Musk of 1900. He's your industrialist, he's mega rich, and he has insignificant political influence. He has his own media, so he can speak freely. And he writes the first book about the threat of people within our country that are controlling media, controlling social norms. Pretty much the same conversation you see today. So this is actually the first shout from him that there is a threat a foreign threat within a country that there needs to be nationalization movement against. He is actually the foundation of the ideologies that Adolf Hitler ultimately adopted from this publication. Most people don't realize it, but he was well regarded in Nazi Germany. This is him receiving the highest honor of a civilian in 1938, the German Eagle. He is actually one of the big funders of the Nazi Party, the political party in the 20s. He's one of the big donors of the actual Nazi Party, bringing him to power. So he's not sort of kind of just loosely tied to it. That guy is the root of the ideology and the funding of the Nazi Party. This is why in the 1930s, Ford Motor Company and the Third Reich, yeah, it went somewhere else, right? They're tied together. Ford Motor Company is a huge backer of the Third Reich, a U.S. industrialist that you guys have never heard this in your entire life. And you have to think about, what would it take for all of you to go to school and have no idea about this? Do you know how amazing it is to separate this reality away from Henry Ford, leave him in history, and somehow hang the entire thing around Hitler so you aim all at him and never look? This dude is the Nazis. So that's his book. This is actually the book that Hitler studied and ultimately wrote Mein Kampf off for his own people. It is basically this book adapted just for the German people. In 1939, this is actually the Nazis in New York. While they've got concentration camps, this is the Nazis in Madison Square Gardens for a giant welcoming parade that they had right down the middle of New York and Manhattan, welcomed here in New York City, while you have Henry Ford receiving a medal in 1938. The Nazis are actually American. So when Putin is telling you he's denazifying Ukraine, and you see who's firing all the weapons through Ukraine, he's making a statement that no one quite realizes. He's exposing something that nobody actually knows. It's why we have all their weapons after World War II, and we have the V-2 rocket program being our space program, and all their scientists. The Nazis are us. That's the big fucking secret. And hopefully it doesn't cancel my fucking station, but yeah. So the big fucking secret of this whole thing is Henry Ford is the root of all evil. But they had to leave him in history because of what he is as a figurehead to American, industrialization. And what it takes to segregate this piece of his history, which you can clearly find in 5 seconds, but none of you come across as you grew up learning about him. Think about how much control you have to have for none of you to know about this and only think of Hitler with this story. That's how much control of your ideas somebody out there has. Let's just say. Isn't that crazy? You guys don't think that's kind of crazy? I think that's kind of crazy. So when Putin says he's denazifying Ukraine, and he sits there holding his line there and using amazing restraint not to actually, he's not killing fucking citizens, while Ukraine is trying to do all kinds of crazy shit. They're blowing up fucking pipelines. The U.S. is cooperating to blow fucking their Nord Stream pipeline, cripple fucking nonsense over there. And he's kind of sitting there kind of letting the U.S. show its hand. While the U.S. sits there and helps fund genocide over in Palestine, and sitting there as a proxy through Ukraine, he's letting you see who the bad guy really was and helping to destroy America's goodwill they've built through really careful diplomacy and propaganda across the last 7 years. So right now you have, China all of a sudden being the voice of reason on the Middle East and willing to step up to, eventually taking a stronger stance with it. China's never given a fuck about humanitarianism outside their borders in their life. They don't give a fuck. It's all tactical. So while they're burning civilian lives over there to make the statement, the U.S. is on display to the rest of the world that wants to join BRICS to show exactly what they're about, where their money goes. The fact that America right now is actually spending so much money on migrants and wars that they don't have any money for their citizens in a crisis in Hurricane Helene, that's not something that the whole world's not seeing. In the internet age, the whole world can see that America's focus is warmongering, not even our own citizens. So you're getting to look at exactly what America is not, and it's basically contrary to what America's been selling the world for decades. That's the first thing you got to take away from the leaders of the world is the idea that people the respect and the view that people have of America. You've got to destroy that image first before you can actually destroy the nation. So Putin and China are playing the long game. They are allowing America to basically expose their hand inside Ukraine, expose their hand inside the Middle East, and burn up tons of resources at the same time while fucking hyperinflating our economy while pinning us from the supply side in China. It's a very, very careful game, but this is the chess move they have to play if they want to take us out. It's the long game they're playing. They've got one shot at it, and believe me, they're using every tactic available to them. That people can see overtly with weapons and covertly with the psyop they're running on the world. So it's pretty crazy, and all that stuff is in Space Cache. But that's the summary of what's going on at this moment. Everybody keep up with all that? That was a lot. That Henry Ford thing will blow your mind, right? It's 4D chess, right? They're playing the long game. You can't beat America with bullets. They know that. So they're not trying to beat us with bullets. They're letting us use up an assload of our own bullets. But the real reality is that they're burning up what we really control, which is the image that we are the good guy and they are the bad guy. So, all interesting stuff. Wasn't planning to open up with that one in this show, but hey, you never know where this shit goes, right? Did you guys like the art today? What do you think? Did you get it? These are the people that miss the trends, and these are the few that make it. Makes sense, don't it? Seething, angry, on a world below. Misery loves company, though. I had to not be as direct as I really wanted to be about that last conversation because you guys already know, right? There's motherfuckers, you say the word, Hitler, and they fucking flag your station. So, I think you guys been along to put a few other things together in there, and you can Google whatever you just saw on that screen and go look deeper into it. It's definitely worth it. But yeah, history without context is bullshit, and the reality is what we have been taught has been taught to us by the winners that have a purpose in teaching us a certain way. If it enables other things to happen. Ultimately, the entire world stares at fucking Germany for the misdeeds and the ideology that fucking caused so much damage. But if they only ever knew it was funded by an American, it changed the entire narrative completely. And if you can see in America, Hitler and the Nazi Party was extremely welcomed, and they weren't seen as anything radical or crazy. They were overtly militant and nationalistic, and they were fucking right at home in Manhattan. Anyways, moving along. What's going on there? Nobody just had a number drop. What did I just do with my charts? Let's see what the pre-market's looking like. Well, that looks pretty good. So, pre-market things. A bunch of stuff is up. Looks like the number must have been good. What was the number? Forex Factory. Average hourly earnings, better than expected. Non-farm employment change. Fucking ridiculous compared to what they expected. Unemployment, slightly lower than they thought. So overall, pretty positive stats for your jobs numbers heading into the election. Where is this guy at? Okie dokie. Not sure what's going on there. Good old trading for you, doing crazy shit. If it wasn't doing crazy shit, it wouldn't be doing shit. It was slow as molasses today, huh? So this was a knife catch show. Fuck around and find out. That was 60 VIX. You guys realize on video, that's the second one we got. We got the 80 VIX in COVID, and we got the 60 VIX right now in fucking the carry trade unwind. Those are the two biggest crises in the last, since the banking crisis. Both live on video. We have them both. Isn't that wild? I think that's pretty cool. As far as analysis goes, that's fucking definitely a one of one. QQQ since then. So, those mega liquidation events that happen and things like that, generally speaking, those are major lows. And that's why we did the fuck around and find out show. And, if you fucked around, you found out. This stands to be this is the last major climax to the fucking COVID low. You think about it. There's only been 3 readings this high since the banking crisis. And this is one of them. If this is anything like the COVID low, like this is your most major swing point that's out there. This is the most emotional event. A lot of people made a lot of stupid choices right on this day. So, trust me, as long as you're not one of them, you're hopefully along the way with us, right? So, this was actually a prep I gave you guys in Discord, and we're looking for a possible flag back off the gap we had here, and it did do the flag back. How deep the flag was going to be was, the question. And now I think we have it, right? So, for right now, we've got positive numbers, upside pump on the market. See if we can recover this bull flag. And again, the gap is still the thing, right? It's going to open at the gap right now, and until it fucking conquers that, you really don't have ease of movement. Over here, above this level is where you're looking for it to reach to have ease of movement to actually test the new high. That's the Nasdaq. The diamonds, however, looking at him, I marked the threshold for him yesterday that I thought was noteworthy on the diamonds if he was going to eat it, and he held that ground right now. So, right now, a few things are in a position to go all-time high again. I think that's worth looking at. And then crypto, I've given you guys on, where did I put it? Let's see. The stuff that comes up on X all the time is really crazy. Like, why do they force feed you the most violent, crazy stuff constantly? Who's getting shot in this one? What is this? What the actual fuck is that? That would just ruin somebody's fucking morning. That's like bad energy, you know what I mean? What the fuck? Oh, right. I'm an idiot. You're gonna put me in there. Really? I didn't do that? Pretty sure I wrote something like that. I know I posted some shit like that. Dang it. Can't find it. I can't remember where I put it on there. Let's see. Didn't I do... Okay, I'm not retarded. I knew I did that. Posted this guy, keeping track, right, with the VIX 60 climax in mind. I thought this guy was also, worth putting out public, just as a general overview of the broader market, right? Using the total index like the S&P 500. Structurally very similar to what was going on over in the Qs end of last year. So the VIX 60 holds for risk assets, he should put a bottom in both of these guys because they are correlated, not as like perfectly correlated, but they do, as risk assets go, tend to rise together in the longer haul. So far, so good, right? That guy is holding ground for right now. Get that guy up. One sec. Oh, shoot. Where did I put him? There he is. Found it. Sorry, I have to change a million settings to get this guy where he needs to be. So many things, so many things. There he is. Am I retarded? This guy, total. Damn it. I'm coming. Sorry, it's been a minute since I did this live. Alright. Oh, the fact that I was keeping track of right now. So, I think this guy is definitely something to keep on your radar. If the entire index can get itself together and push out of this trajectory, it should be vicious. If it's actually like, really like this structure, the last lead that liquidates people should be fucking just a straight line out there, like a wake. So, keeping tabs on where things are right now to see if crypto gets some strength while we've seen the stock market get strength. Even if it's not today, the longer res. This guy so far structurally has it. So, ultimately your ease of movement for this whole system is going to be when you get outside of here, which I showed you up here, right? So, you don't want to fucking get yourself chopped up or anything like that, and you want to be a little safer where this thing has like the ability to keep, haul ass without much resistance. It's going to be when it gets over the top of this whole thing. Not putting any marks on my beautiful chart. So, see if that big boy can play out. What time do we have right now? It is 9:05. Okay, I do not want to get to the fucking bell and get snippet in that shit. So, I am having a weird problem with Reddit right now, so I am going to not be able to go into some war stories. And it's also been like a hot minute since I did this, so I'm kind of like a little out of practice. But I just threw the entire Third Reich and fucking Henry Ford into the middle of the show at random, I'm going to probably just move towards getting you guys back towards prep and out the door. I don't want to go towards like 9:30, anything like that. But yes, I didn't actually take your symbols last time because I'm so fucking bucked up from not doing the show for a while that I actually missed that and didn't manage to fit it in there. So I will get your symbols today. That is something I did not do for you. So yeah, I guess hopefully Tiki you've been paying attention to that. But I will do, let's see, symbols first or broader view first? I'll do the broader view first, and then we'll take your symbols. So it's 9:05, got to be fairly quick. Me and Gavin had to go get all the parts of stuff to like put the studio stuff back together. Some things weren't quite here anymore, so I had to like get set this morning, and of course got the artwork done in time, didn't have the studio ready in time, so still late, but fashionably. Let's see. Start with our good old spies. So boy, back in the day we had the density of levels from the shows, huh? So keeping it simple right now, previous all-time high on the SPY, your main barometer of risk in as far as like an index goes in the world. Let's take a look at this guy. Come on. God, it's so painful. Looks like I showed you the Dow. Almost looks too easy to see, but the S&P is a stone throw off, making a new all-time high right now, sitting on the previous all-time high, system free and clear, and totally respecting the previous one. It looks structurally like almost too perfect, right? The Dow, we showed you, looks like that already, and then the Qs are the laggard because everyone's staring at tech, but, Johnny come lately may follow them out. If they both push out, there's a good chance this guy's going to go chase him down. Watching some of the assets we pointed out on here, we had NVIDIA on the show. He's an interesting spot, like failing to really rotate hard out of this angle last time and kind of struggling right now. You kind of think he'd be a little bit stronger. Meta, ridiculous, even while the market's pulling back, right? Zuckerberg dropped his version of the AR glasses, which is showing some promise and being received pretty well. At the end of the day, you don't want to bet against that motherfucker, right? He's got special privileges. So this shit all-time high again this morning. A lot of stuff looks a lot stronger than it looks like, given the market seems to have been rather turbulent, even with the whole Middle Eastern conflict and some of the de-risking moves we saw. A lot of stuff is still sitting rather healthily near all-time highs. This is a playbook for if you don't know about it. If you want intel like the stuff we drop here, if you're a YouTube member, you can join our Discord, and we have channels where we update intel on lots of this stuff. Right now, some of these guys are definitely worth keeping track of. If indexes push out on the S&P and tech gets the strength, a lot of these dudes are sitting in crazy spots. Energy is obviously crazy right now because of oil, the situation in the Middle East. Oil has gone full fucking retard off the lows, actually made into the 60s. And right now, if you look at the range he's been sitting in, it's definitely worth keeping track of this. All right, he's been attempting to rotate a really, really major bull flag from 2022, and really this base for the rotation, you're looking for him to get above this. This is such a massive, shockwave that the ease of movement is definitely going to be on top of the system. So we defined this back many shows ago, and he's been trading through and just building bigger and bigger position in this. It'll take one fucking military strike against something really significant in Iran, oil related, to cause this thing to go more fucking full retard. This is just on the idea that something could happen. And the easy target is always to blow up something oil related and completely fuck up supply and destabilize the whole fucking planet, which would be, disastrous for everybody. But oil is, it's a powder keg over there. That being said, a whole lot of energy stocks, don't look half bad. This is right now, he's been in the base for years, and with the Dow Jones, the stones away from all-time highs, him as a Dow component, ExxonMobil is sitting right at all-time highs, and most people probably don't even realize that, right? Even while oil is so pulled back off of its high of the last 2 years, there are some guys in energy that are just fucking like literal freight trains. So definitely is like spaces to keep your eyes on right now with the Middle East situation going on, and inflationary pressure is still there, right? Assets all over the planet are getting more expensive, like left and right. This is gold. Hey, precision squiggle. I'll get rid of that. This is a playbook play on it. We had it in the show. We had actually drawn this, I think, in whatever the last shows are that we did. This is fuck around or find out. And not only was it a low in risk assets in crypto and stocks, it's a low in fucking the risk off asset, which is telling you something really important. I've talked with you guys in the community about what Dow theory means, and having confirmation and non-confirmation across multiple assets, expanding Dow theory beyond railroads and industrials and such. When you have like assets that in place that should be non-correlated, like oil, like gold, like stocks, like crypto, all moving together, that's a sign of something else, right? That's a sign of loss of purchasing power of your currency more than it is so much that gold is pumping, and is so strong. The fact that gold is rising and stocks are rising means that the actual denomination you're buying both of these motherfuckers with is falling. So it's not that gold is rising as a risk off to fucking stocks being weak, but they're both going. That's a more broader based thing. And so most people they focus on the top half of the equation and don't really realize what's happening when you see this across the board. This is a sign of just rising asset prices everywhere. And we see that like in things like OJ and shit like this, right? Like for orange juice and fucking food and everything is going absolutely fucking insane. What is it, cocoa? Right? Food is going fucking crazy. Everything on the planet is going crazy. So it's not that like fucking stocks are necessarily so strong or gold is so strong, but more to the fact that what BRICS and NATO are engaged in is actually causing a rapid destruction of purchasing power for the hegemony that the U.S. controls through the dollar. So you're seeing it reflected in everything that the U.S. touches. So that being said, right, a lot of things are rising, and currency is really the place not to be. That's ultimately the real trade of it, right? It's not so much like stocks or Bitcoin or gold. It's that the currency itself is the place you don't want to stand right now. And if the West begins to really bring rates down, that situation only gets worse. Let's see. Oh yeah. So VIX things, just to zoom in on him where he's at going into the session, right? You always want to keep a track of this guy because he'll sneak up on you. This is the last rotation. I think I showed you guys here. Like the saying, good technicals will put you in the same place as good fundamentals. Jesus Christ, it's so slow today. What the heck? This was a VIX update I gave you guys in channel. And what are the chances this fear shockwave would actually capture the Iran-Israel conflict perfectly on the bull flag rotation? So we don't need to know that Iran's going to fucking blast Israel. We just need to pay attention to information that will be captured inside these structures. So by graphing things like the VIX, right, we don't need to know what the black swan event is. We just need to know that this thing rotates. There will be a likely de-risking to the market. The catalyst be damned, right? So right now, he's still in a place that's kind of precarious, right? He's right under 21. This is major line in the sand. This gets blown out, she'll come apart really, really fucking fast. So while you're still watching this and it's a failed rotation, right, as long as he's still up here, if he turns back up or does anything stupid like that, we need to be aware of that. That will immediately take the markets back off a cliff really, really quickly. You do have a catalyst this month for like increasing volatility, depending on which way the people feel like the polls are leaning. The election will start to be like more and more rhetoric from that will start to kind of feed into things, along with the situation going on post Helene, and with the situation going on with the Middle East. The chatter from Trump, the chatter from Kamala are going to fucking ratchet up as the situation likely doesn't de-escalate going forward, since Israel says that they plan to launch an offensive after they're done with their New Year celebrations. So October could be fucking crazy, and October historically is not one of the best months of the year for stocks. So it is worth keeping that in mind. You don't necessarily make a bet on seasonality, but it is something you keep in the back of your mind. DXY things. We had a level here we posted in the room. Good old Stevie D is a hell of a sentiment read, and we told you guys to watch that level, and he is the floor. He just saved the dollar for now. So right now the dollar, the DXY when he bounces, understand it means relative strength against a basket of other currencies. It doesn't mean that the dollar is absolutely strong. It's in relative terms to like a basket of major currencies. So with that, like, seeing the dollar bounce there, I told you guys to keep your eyes on this move that was coming from the dollar yen. It's definitely like something that, like, the carry trade on wine just presents a massive discount to get back into a really heavy cash flow positive position long the dollar and short the near zero interest rate currency of the yen. So the dollar right now is the best of breed in that. So he probably looks a lot better than some of these guys that aren't fully broken out, right? So yeah, right now the dollar is kind of leading that rotation out. But the whole yen basket should be on watch right now because I think they pretty much vaporized everybody on the back end of this carry trade. If the markets are going to continue higher, risk-seeking behavior dictates that you'd seek positive spreads in the yielding markets of currency. So the carry trade is likely back on again, and barring the next event from the BOJ to try and flush people out in it, the natural tendency is going to be to deploy capital for higher rates of return from cheap sources. And the yen, as long as he's the cheapest thing in the G7, this fucking pressure will never stop, right? Capital will chase opportunity. So this is something that we need to gauge the corrective, how deep the correction is, but it's likely a trend that's not going to stop, right? It's been a thing for a while for a fucking reason. All right, so that was broad crypto, stocks, currency, VIX. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. All right, what do you guys got? Earnings season in mid-October as well. Yep. So, all right, somebody make a list and aggregate some symbols. I'll be fast with them. All right, FET, USD, XLRE, BLE. FET, USD. What is this garbage? Artificial Super Intelligence Alliance. Sounds like garbage. But it's got good buzzwords. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to fudge your coin. Seems easy enough. Probably pay attention to, where's a good trigger on this motherfucker? There's the, oh. This is ghastly. Hang on, let me fix that. The actual fuck. Alright, much better. Alright, so yeah, I think he holds above that level on the rotation of this flag right now. Doesn't look too bad. Obviously you want to see fucking total fucking recover. Let's put this guy over here. Move to. So right, this guy's obviously contingent on the rotation of crypto itself. So structurally, he looks good and kind of maybe giving us a window into the fact that some of the guys that are in a position to perform like with higher betas might be already rotating structures that give us a lead on what really total is doing. So this is actually like bullish. If this rotates again, we'd expect to see total actually go back up to the top of his range. And if he comes out of his major bull flag, then this could be a good thing to pay attention to as well, since the correlation looks pretty good. And then the next one is, you said BLE? Well, China fucking just did China things, right? And China's market, what is that? China just, stimulated their market. You guys want to see something cool? We did this on a show with you a while ago. China. But remember this big ass Nomics N from way back in the day? So just like the VIX, right, captured the actual Israel attack within it. Remember when we did this thing? We said higher floor back here. This is like fucking like well over a year ago. It happened. China intervened literally where it was making this fucking floor from, right? Like, could this hold? This is the 2022 low, and this is the actual exact low we projected for. So China's kind of held their market back. If this actually pulls this move right now, China could close the differential it's built with the rest of the world across these years. He's massively underperformed, like, nobody's business. So just to show you that, VT, we could put him on a world basket look. This is the actual world basket for world stocks. This is VT. He's basically the S&P of the planet. And so right now you're flagging above all-time high, right? You want to look for your best of breed guys in the index world. We look at this. Where did I put it? World. China, it destroyed my labels, but China is the bottom one. There's China's intervention. That's what's happened since like COVID. So China basically just didn't restart. And this fucking like deliberate non-restart is pretty much what fucking set the inflation fucking like world on fire in the West. So now they decided to turn their economy on and begin to support it. And the timing of this in front of the election right now, where they're doing it, is rather interesting because it's not just the election, but the fact that we began to cut rates and then trying to literally stimulate their economy. This stands to actually fucking press us on the inflation curve harder again because now you're getting used to China basically being offline, and our policy likely took that into account. This surprise fucking move by China, if they actually begin to fucking push their economy back to fucking kickstart, it'll drive inflationary forces anyway, while the Fed is trying to stimulate the economy after trying to cool inflationary forces, because the main attack is to fucking disappear our purchasing power. So I think this actual timing is part of an economic attack to help keep us fucking like gassed up so we can keep fucking burning through our purchasing power, which everyone can see, like, your food prices are going through the fucking ceiling per month. So anyways, that's China things. That's a really long-winded ass wordy thing. But hopefully I add some context to shit. So China sustains the fucking intervention, right? Don't worry about if companies are profitable. Not China. They're all fucking fake. If China's just going to pump their shit, then, you keep track of it. There could be some real opportunities here. So first fucking major pump on that thing. Probably need this motherfucker to cool down some, unless China's just going to keep sticking it out. But in general, that looks ridiculous. So he's already corrected off of here, and you want to see him make some kind of structure and see if he gives you the setup to fucking rotate and come back out of here or not. So how high he sets us up, we have to kind of pay attention to see how high the corrective structure is. But you kind of wait for something along those lines, right? And the next one is XLRE. XLRE real estate, generally correlated with the S&P. Definitely worth paying attention to. The index as a whole, I think there's like some bright spots that are within it. There's some REITs that are performing really good, and then there's some that, if they're tied to office space and stuff like that, they're not going to be doing well. A lot of commercial spaces are really hurting. So I think as like, basket, there's like you could be more selective about what you go for, especially with rates are coming down and asset prices are going to continue to rise and the S&P is going to continue to rise. It's going to draw, real estate prices like everything else. All assets are going to continue to rise over time. So there's definitely stuff worth paying attention to here. I would think that this guy, even though he's flagging back like he is and he looks kind of weak right now, you're paying attention to him above this breakout that we had noted in this projection. As long as he holds the line above this and rotates, I think then he has possibility to chase the rest of the market if it all continues higher. So, that's still possible for him. What am I at? 9:23. Holy shit, I don't want to get to the bell. Alright, I gotta do a couple more and I gotta jump myself so I can fucking be prepared. Wi-Fi, USD, SLM, Sol, Silver, and Mother. Can't remember all that much shit, but I'll try. Alright, so we'll start with the currency since that one's easy. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm actually not kidding. But yeah, so right now, Euro, Aussie. All my TA's been nuked. I think they changed the exchange that it's on. Let me see if I have the Euro Aussie from where I actually had the Euro Aussie because I had stuff on him. There he is. Hit. Well, that's crazy. Whatever that was. Hurry up. Oh, is that the market maker model? That was in another show. So watching him right now, have this projection out here. This angle only works if he makes a new high. This is actually the uptrend angle that you have that's still valid right here. So for right now, he's got a lot of congestion where he's at. I think the risk is right now near term, right, Australian dollars are much stronger, and I think they have a better interest rate spread than fucking the euro. This keeps pressing down, and you keep having risk-seeking behavior in the market. It should force this guy down. These spikes that you see here are from previous shows we explained to you. These are crises, and there tends to be a capital flow flight from parts like Australia back towards the eurozone in these situations. This is the Asian contagion. This is the banking crisis. That's COVID, and that's the carry trade unwind. So you can kind of see that there's like pressure, upward pressure in crisis situations. So if we're still rethinking and the market's going to push higher, it would likely suppose that this guy would track from here lower, probably back down to this angle that I have down there. So barring that, you're watching for him to get out, probably across here, sustain above this, all this wiki shit he's done. would need to be up here and stabilize, do something along those lines before you gave a shit on the bull side of it. For right now, I think he's got a high likelihood, like with a high concentration of volume through this shit, to get underneath here. If he gets underneath here, he can track down to the angle. Remember I said this angle is a projected angle off of a new high that hasn't been made yet. Try to squeeze in some things here. I need the DEX. With USD. That's kind of what you're watching right now. Understand also one thing that most people aren't aware of, right? I can't believe this fucking goddamn fucking lawn people. I'm gonna kill somebody. BTC USD. Sorry, Bitcoin dominance. This is your crypto cycle, right? This is your alt season. When Bitcoin becomes weaker than shitcoins, LTC, BTC, ETH, BTC, you get this. You get fucking shitcoin markups, right? Major fucking moves in the marketplace. The real reality is outside the meme cycle, your real alt season has never really happened. As BTC has perpetually maintained dominance here, you haven't had any of these tides where fucking like shitcoins were fucking going completely nuclear at the front of 2017. Or like they were going nuclear here in the fucking like, you know, mid and latter parts of 2021. BTC has, for the most part, been killing everything out there, obviously with the fundamental of ETFs sucking the coins out of the marketplace. So to get like an outright outperformance where it becomes a good idea to go into these guys versus BTC USD, you need to see him kind of chill on this. So this is one last swing level we have here from back in the days that I think is key. And if BTC can stall here and you get a price correction, that will be your alt season. So as long as we have upward pressure on risk assets and BTC USD, BTC dominance weakens out, then you'll actually have some alpha inside of some of those coins again. So I think, whoops. So I think that's some of what you care about. Okay, I lost my screen. This guy. So yeah, that's WIF. Right now, near term and WIF though, you could watch with that flag rotation that we're watching also on total. If total gets some strength to him, right? This is your first potential for him to get up here and then challenge taking out the longer term angle, right? So that's what you're watching right now with. I know I'm running out of time. What am I at? No, 27. All right, this is the last one I can do, guys. I know I gotta do it because it's a crowd favorite. Where the fuck do you go? Saul. We don't have Tattoo Boy to fucking use right now, but there's some good ranges built from his ass. This channel is where fucking Lil Pump appeared multiple times. So it's definitely a good range. I think like the breakout range for Saul though, your safe spot, is him getting out of this channel. This channel has been death multiple times to him. And one of your major pump locations, but he resists really well here. So that's why I have the arrows above this. I think he's bullish well above that. You know, if the market gets weak and he stays underneath this zone, the swing level down is going to be through this if he sustains any structure under this guy. If the market de-risks and he gets under here, he can eat it from here if he sustains under this level. So that's what you're watching on that guy. All right, it's too close to the bell. I got to actually get myself situated and turn back on my PC and all that jazz. So hope you guys enjoyed the surprise show. Happy Friday, motherfuckers. Stay safe out there. This has been Trading Places. Till next time, bitches.
Welcome to Winternomics TV, your stream. Welcome to Winternomics TV, your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. to Winternomics.